Top 5 Lakers all time ranking. I think you've done this before. I don't know if you've done this before, but I'm assuming you're probably going to have it. And I think I know who your number 1 is, but I'm actually curious to 2, 3, and 4.
I mean, my number 1 is Magic Johnson.
Sure, right.
My number 2 is Kobe Bryant. My number 3, it would be Shaquille O'Neal. Number 4, Michael Cooper.
Michael Cooper.
Michael Cooper.
Wow.
Michael Cooper was no Cooper, no rings. Yeah.
Who's your 5?
Number 5, I would put on, I would say, James Worthy. Big game James.
Big game James.
Yeah, he always played better in the playoffs than the regular season.
You know, I had James on at one of our events 12 years ago, and I asked him a question. I said, so what was the dynamic with you and Magic when you guys were kind of, maybe even 13 years ago? He says, when I came to the Lakers, I was a number 1 draft pick. Like, I was better than Michael in college. I'm the guy that's coming in, right? You better treat me as that. And he says, I'm about to be traded. And he says, one day Magic comes in, and Magic says, hey, I just want to tell you, James, I want you here, but this is my team.
Mm-hmm.
And if you can understand that, we're going to do very well together. Some dynamic like that.
Yeah.
And he says, James walked away, and he says, you know what? He's right. This is his team. After that, they had 0 problems.
Yeah. I mean, Magic bowed to Kareem.
Yeah.
Not bowed, but just said, hey, I'm coming in to help Kareem win. And, it's not about me. But at that point, it was about him.
About Kareem.
About Magic. At the point when Worthy came in, it was about Magic. So it was only right that Magic told Worthy what it is.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Hip-hop. Would you think hip-hop, when we had this professor here from Harvard. What was his name? James Fryer, I want to say. Maybe I'm not saying his name properly. Dr. James Fryer. Can you type in, I think, Dr. James Fryer? I don't know if you've heard of him or not. Cube. He's fantastic. Okay. If I get his name right. Is it? Oh, put in Fryer, Rob, and you should be able to pull it up. You're taking a long ways, Rob.
No.
Oh, it's going to take you a while to find him. Okay. So hip-hop, okay.
Yeah.
If we go through hip-hop from day 1 till today, would you say hip-hop's been a net positive to society? Roland G. Fryer.
Yeah.
And he's a professor that wrote a couple different things, papers, and got a lot of controversy behind it. I think, Rob, what was it, the paper that he wrote that he got heat from Claudine Gay?
It was regarding statistics regarding police violence when it comes to police using violence against black people as opposed to police using violence against people
whites.
Not people of color.
And this is a guy that he says, I went back in multiple times, and this almost cost me my job. He saw there's more police violence towards whites than blacks based on statistics, and he broke it down. Why? Because the cops are afraid, because they're going to get more scrutinized if they do something to. Anyways, so this article goes, and he gets a bunch of heat for it, right?
Yeah.
And he's right now working on the effects of hip-hop on society, okay? Mm-hmm. And he hasn't done the paper yet. The paper's going to come out in the next 3 to 6 months.
Yeah.
And you read different things. You think hip-hop's had a net positive or a net negative impact on young boys' lives?
I think in a lot of ways it's had a net positive. It's given a lot of youngsters hope. If you think about the world before hip-hop, it was pretty corny, and it was really no outlets for the young youth to express themselves. Everything was being done by, grown men and grown women, and there were very few outlets for the youth to express themselves, on a mass level or on a, major level, put it that way. And then hip-hop changed that. Hip-hop has created an industry where there was none. It's created, more jobs than I can even speak on. It's created industries, created talent, cameramen, editors, engineers. It's created superstars, from from people who can't sing, probably can't sing a lick, but they can still, sell out stadiums and arenas. It's given hope to kids, just like sports have, to change their situation and change their dynamic, almost overnight. And look, it's like saying, has movies helped people become better? There's all kind of movies. There's horror movies, there's pornos, there's all kind of stuff. But overall, in general, if you don't count all the bad stuff, movies have done a lot to bring the world together. And so I think hip hop has done more to bring people together, especially of all different races. Where else can you go and see kids of all different races getting into one thing, one style of music? Of course, there's the hardcore music, and everything bad in the hood is blamed on hip hop. A bad kid doing something in a baseball hat, it has to be, or a hoodie, he has to be hip hop, or it had to have something to do with hip hop. And it's not true, because those things were happening before hip hop. Now, of course, the weapons and all the things that's on the street now wasn't there before, but they're there now. Hip hop don't make weapons. Hip hop don't make drugs. Hip hop might talk about it, might speak about it, may glorify it, but at the end of the day, these things are manufactured by conglomerates and corporations. Hip hop don't, leave train cars open full of weapons in the hood or U-Hauls, or that has nothing to do with hip hop. That has something to do with a power structure that want to keep the status quo. So overall, I believe hip hop has helped the world be a little more honest with itself.
Almost like a form of comedy. I think but maybe the better comparison would be a comedy, right? Where comedy allows you to, sometimes Dave Chappelle gets up and he tells some jokes, you're like, you kind of crossed the line right there. But you know what? Maybe it's a form of being honest with the market, and you decide. If you don't like it, it's like, look, I'm for this thing. When he got up, one of the jokes he said, ladies, I'm kind of with you. It should be on you to decide, your body, your choice, if you want to keep the baby or not. I agree with you. It should be your body, your choice. Now, if it's your body, your choice, I should also have the choice whether to pay child support or not. That should be on me as well, right? And you see the ladies at first, they're all like screaming with him, and then they're like, boo, and he's kind of, wait a minute, why are you pissed now? And he gets into his whole thing that he does. I get that. I think about when I was a kid and I'm listening to Hit 'Em Up, my workout playlist, Hit 'Em Up, right? And then you listen to Eazy-E, real mother, and then you listen to Mo Murder, and you remember that one song with, what was it? We're not against rap. We're not against rappers, but we are against those thugs. Remember that whole, who was it? Bone Thugs, right? That came out with that song. So, that's my playlist. And as a kid, to me, it was rage I had on why am I living this life? And this was my way of connecting, right? Where it's kind of like, man, there's an outlet to it, right? So, I was internally friends with these rappers. I was hanging out with you guys. It was a good day, right? One of the greatest hip hop songs of all time. Some say top 5, top 10. That's you, right? Hey, today was a good day. All right, so. But then, you fast forward, and this guy said something very interesting. I'm not done with the research, but let me tell you what I did find. I said, what's that? He said, in the projects and in the hood, hip-hop did well because it helped spring people out. He said, but hip-hop, and again, he's not done with it. I don't want to quote him on this. He needs to come out and he'll tell us what it is. He says, in the areas it hurt is communities that they don't have a tough life. They're living an okay life. And now they're thinking they're gangsters. You go into private school, you're not a gangster. Now you're going to school and I got a gun. Let me tell you what I got. So it made some of those kids act like they're tough, and you're not really tough. So it helped the ones here, but it kind of hurt some of the other communities that maybe weren't exposed to this life. I mean, when you listen to Brenda's Got a Baby, that's Brenda's Got a Baby, and then the dumpster, and you're like, remember that whole scene in the movie you guys did? I think, did you do it in was it Straight Outta Compton? What movie was it? It wasn't Straight Outta Compton when he's maybe no, it wasn't in Straight Outta Compton. I don't know what movie this is with Tupac where he's negotiating with the producer. Could have been a documentary where he's like, I want Brenda's Got a Baby in the album. No, we're not going to do it. No, it's got to be in the album. Mm-hmm. I'm telling you, we can't put this in the album. They're not going to let us play this on the radio. You're not. What are you doing, Paul? We can't. I'm not doing this if it's not. You know what's talking. I don't know which movie it is. But guess what? Brenda's Got a Baby. It's telling a story. He's not making. You said Richmond earlier, right? And this is some of the things that he's seen. What do you think about that argument? That maybe it hurts some sects, some communities, but it hurts some other because it brought in mindsets to safer communities that are not dealing with these issues?
Well, my thing is, what issues are they dealing with in those communities? Because it might not be gangbanging, but it could be other issues that they're dealing with. This has always happened with art. Sometimes, life imitates art and art imitates life. When I think about, people that do what they do, like a Stephen King of the world who, usually makes horror movies or, sometimes very violent stories, and he's allowed to be that type of artist without somebody doing a psych op on what is done to the world. Sometimes guys paint a beautiful picture, sometimes they paint an ugly picture. But the key is, you've listened to the music. You've named some of the most hardcore records ever, and you've turned out fine. It's mindset and it's individuals. And, some people don't know how to take it, but that don't mean you should stop doing it because a few people don't know how to accept the music and look at it as music and art and continue to live their lives. Everybody walked out the movie, wanting to be Bruce Lee. You know what I'm saying? Everybody walks out the movie thinking they Bruce Lee. Yeah. And so that happens with good art. People gonna wanna, when Barbarino was on TV, on Welcome Back Carter, being, basically a thug in the classroom, with a red rag hanging out his pocket and portraying that, you had a lot of people that wanted to be Barbarino. Fonzie come in, he cool, got the leather jacket. A lot of people going, hey, I'm the Fonz. Nobody want to kill Happy Days because, now they friend out here in the suburbs got a leather jacket on and he's saying, hey, all the time. So, this happens when you do great art. People want to imitate it. That don't mean you kill the art for it.
Yeah. Do you still listen to hip hop?
Yeah.
What do you listen to? Do you have like workout playlists or what's your playlist?
Not on that tip. I listen to what's hot, and I'm doing music myself, so I'm mainly listening to what I need to do better on my own stuff.
You listen to any old school stuff or not?
Yeah,
really?
Everything.
What do you listen to?
I can go back, Run DMC, some of the great albums. It Takes a Nation of Millions to Hold Us Back. Another great album. LL,
LL.
Even Fat Boys. Yeah. Listen to it all.
Wow. On the only thing, and I want to come back because I want to see who's your on the top 5 hip hop rappers. I'm curious to know what you'll say about that. But you know what it is with me today, Cube, and I'm just transparent about it with you. So, man, I was so caught up in my life that when I did a 180, for me at least, one day, like for me, hip hop stops in 03. I know nothing after 03 with hip hop. When I tell you nothing, I'm telling you I know nothing after 03. You tell me Kendrick Lamar, I can't tell you a song. You tell me, Lil Wayne, I couldn't tell you one song. If I hear it, I know it, but I can. Now you go back 90s, I'm with you. I can hang with anybody, even R&B. You bring anybody R&B, Aaron Hall, Uncle Sam. I can go weird stuff like As Yet. I can go, all of that because that was my era. That was my crew. That's who I was with. But then one day I'm like, yeah, I'm not doing this no more. So I replaced everything I listened to in the car. Radio's not been on in my car since 03. It's been only books. And I realized if I listened to too much hip hop, the way I would speak would change, my rage would change, my intensity would change. And maybe in certain situations that's a good thing, but when you're running a business and you want to get the creative juices flowing, I lowered that up. I went back to more 80s. I listened to more Grandma's Grandma's Hands with Bill Withers, and I love that song. It's one of my favorites. I go to that, 70s, 80s to just bring it here instead of trying to take it there because I believe words have power. Affirmation, it's got a lot of power. So even earlier when you were talking about your friend who gave you that counsel, mind your own business and you'll live longer, and you said it's not necessarily what you say publicly. It's what another person that's not involved in the debate or the discussion can interpret that in a certain way and come back and try to harm certain individual, right? And they're not even involved. This gangster rap's not even a part of you. What are you doing? This John F. Kennedy, what are you doing? It's not even a part of you. What are you doing? And then that can get somebody with certain words to say, you know what, I'm going to be the hero and I'm going to come out there and do X, Y, Z. That's the only risk, that when I go there, that's what I think about in that part.
Well, mind your own business and you live longer. It doesn't mean ignore everything that's going on.
No, not at all.
Focus on.
Yeah.
It means, you started to mind your own business when you said, okay, I'm going to turn the radio off and I'm going to listen to books and improve myself that way. That to me is what it's all about. And also, too much of anything is not good. Yeah, too much hip hop is not good. It's like too much sugar. It's not good. It's you got to have balance. You know what I mean? So you got to have a little R&B with your hip hop. Got to have a little funk with it.
Mix it
a little soul. Yeah, you know what I mean?
I got you.
You got to mix it up to have a balance.
Maybe I love hip hop a little too much for me to go to it because I go.
Yeah, we all do.
Yeah.
It's an energetic music that
Beautiful
really
music.
can give you a nice feeling. But too much of it, is not good for you.
Top five rappers in hip hop. Who would you put on your top five? Not albums.
No order.
That's a different game.
No order, because I love them all. Chuck D, Melly Mel, KRS-One, Rakim, Ice-T.
How many times have you given that list?
A few times.
Few times,
yeah.
How many times do people think those are the five that are going to be on your list?
I don't know. You never know, but these are my OGs.
That's cool.
I would throw LL in there too. These are my OGs that show me how to use the music and make it powerful and not just a nursery rhyme.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember one time, funny story. You know Jay King?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Jay King. Club Nouveau, yeah. Why you treat me so, and he had look at all these rumors, right?
All these rumors.
So one day Jay King and I start working together. Yeah. And he says, Pat, I want to start selling insurance. I hear there's a lot of business in insurance. I love Jay King. If you've been around Jay King.
Oh, he a hustler.
He is.
Yeah.
So I said, Jay, we got to go talk to certain people that they have, reputation and that we can sell them insurance.
Yeah.
He says, all right, so let's go to Beverly Hills. I don't know which one it is. He takes me to one of these hotels. We go there. We're sitting there. He says, let's talk to Suge. I'm like, Jay, no insurance company is going to let me sell insurance to Shook. What are you talking about, right? And he brings all these guys one by one. And then you realize, this space is a very interesting. I was friends with Reggie Calloway. I don't know if you remember Reggie Calloway, the Calloway brothers. I want to be rich, and then he had Casanova. Was it Casanova? Casanova. Yeah, I think that's Reggie Calloway. Yeah, that was them. CIA, your first crew, your name was CIA.
Crew in Action.
Crew in Action, right?
We wanted it to be Criminals in Action, but Lonzo was like, man, stop talking this criminal stuff. You know what I mean? We're going to be Crew in Action.
So I like that. So
after the Wrecking Crew. Crew in Action, Crew in Action.
In these uncertain times, if there's anything we need people to believe the future looks bright. So if you've heard about me saying this mission to you, we're on a mission to get 1 million people to wear this gear, and this is what we're doing. If you buy one of these hats, there's a category of buying one hat, getting the second one free. If you haven't yet worn this gear publicly, go ahead and test it out. Buy some of the gear, wear it in public, and see how many people will stop by and say, you also watch Valuetainment? You also follow PBD Podcast? I do too. Place your order. Go to vtmerch.com, click on the link above or below, place your order, and represent the VT and the PBD Podcast gear.
So if you like this clip and you want to watch another one, click right here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click right here.